Welcome back to the deep dive. We're back in the lab, continuing our journey through the mechanics of financial freedom.
Yeah, and if you've been following along, you know we're moving past the basics. This isn't about just saving more.
No, it's more like a structural renovation. We're
Yeah.
talking about redesigning your entire financial life from the ground up.
It's an engineering problem, really.
Yeah.
We're looking at your financial life as a system, something that can be, designed, optimized, and eventually automated.
And before we get into the nuts and bolts of today, which I have to say, this feels like the most practical session we've done yet, we need to set the foundation.
Right. Where does this framework come from?
Exactly.
We are analyzing the 3 stages, 13 steps to financial independence, developed by Tamir Kaham. Tamir is the originator and architect of this entire strategy. He's also the creator of the YouTube channel, The Golden Path to Financial Independence, and he's the official Hebrew translator of The Richest Man in Babylon.
And it's that blend that's so powerful, right? The modern systems thinking with this sort of ancient financial wisdom.
It's this specific blend of modern systems engineering with ancient financial wisdom that makes this approach so powerful.
So looking at the material for today, we're on what's labeled episode 14, From Vision to Reality. And I can already hear people thinking,
Wait a minute.
yeah. There are only 13 steps in the golden path. What is this?
It's a fair question, and it can be confusing. Let's be really clear on the positioning. This is not step 14.
Okay.
Think of it more like a standalone supplementary application, like a piece of DLC, downloadable content that plugs directly into step 2.
Right. Step 2 was all about defining your vision and calculating your FI index. That was the where you going part of the map.
It was, but there's this very common problem that hits people right after they do that work. We call it the vision to reality gap.
I think I know what you mean.
You do the exercise. Your vision is clear. You want that house on the beach in 10 years. But then you open your eyes and, well, you're still in your cubicle. Your FI index is 0.1 and the mountain just looks impossibly high.
It's that Sunday night dread feeling, but for your entire life plan, you see the summit, but you feel like you're at sea level without a map.
That's the exact friction point. And it gets us to the core problem we're solving today.
Okay.
Most people who complete episode 2 have a clear vision and a calculated FI index. They know where they want to go. But here's the challenge. They're paralyzed by the gap between vision and reality. The vision is 10 years away. The FI index is 0.15 today. It needs to be 1.00. This episode reveals the 5-stage framework that builds the bridge from abstract vision to concrete weekly actions.
So who is this for, specifically? Who needs this bridge the most?
It's really for that salaried individual who's done the intellectual part. They get the math, they understand the concept, but they're feeling crushed by the distance between their current identity.
Which is employee.
Right, their identity as an employee and their target identity, their goal, which is asset owner.
Employee to asset owner.
Yeah.
That shift again, it's not about getting a better job. It's about changing how money flows into your life.
It's the only metric that matters in this system.
Okay.
And before we actually start building this bridge, there's one distinction from the source material we absolutely have to nail down.
Yeah.
Because if you get this wrong, the whole thing falls apart.
Okay, what is it?
We have to separate financial independence from wealth.
I feel like most people use those terms interchangeably. I want to be wealthy, I want to be independent. It all just means having a lot of money, doesn't it?
In a casual conversation, maybe. But in engineering terms, no. They're completely different targets. Financial independence, or FI, that's what you achieve first.
Okay.
It is simply the mathematical point where your passive income covers your living expenses. It's about security. It's about owning your time. It's a survival mechanism.
So FI is basically, I don't have to work to pay my bills.
Precisely. Wealth, on the other hand, is what comes after independence. Wealth is surplus. It's excess capital. It's the luxury layer.
I see.
This strategy, the golden path, it solves for independence first. The mistake people make is they try to solve for wealth before they've even secured their own perimeter. They chase these high-risk returns to get rich, and they just end up fragile.
We want you bulletproof first.
Yeah.
Then you can go get rich. Secure the perimeter. I like that. It kind of lowers the stakes. We aren't trying to buy a private island tomorrow. We're just trying to buy back our time.
Exactly. So with that foundation laid, let's get into this 5-stage framework. Let's build the bridge.
Where do we start?
We start at stage 1, moving from a dream to a structured vision.
Okay, we talked about vision back in the step 2 deep dive, but what's the difference here? Why isn't a dream good enough? I mean, I dream of retiring. Sounds pretty motivating to me.
A dream is an escape fantasy. I want to be rich. I want to travel the world. You can't reverse engineer a system to achieve rich. It's too vague. A structured vision, however, is data. It's specific. Let's use the case study from the material. Let's talk about Sarah.
Okay, lay out the scenario for Sarah.
Sarah is 35,
Yeah.
typical salaried employee, makes about $4,000 a month after tax. She wants freedom by age 50. So she's looking at a 15-year horizon.
15 years. Wow.
And if she just says, I want to be free, she's going to fail. She has to answer the asset owner question.
Which is?
What does my ideal day look like when passive income covers my expenses?
That's a hard question because my gut reaction is lying on a beach doing nothing. But I'm guessing that gets old pretty fast.
It gets old in about 3 days. And that's why Sarah has to dig in. When she really answers it, her vision isn't a yacht. Her structured vision is waking up at 7 a.m., no alarm, in a small coastal town. She spends her morning writing, hikes in the afternoon, and maybe she teaches an online class for, say, 10 hours a week. Not because she needs the money for rent, but just for the connection.
So she's trading the high-stress corporate life for a lower-stress, more intentional life. That's the specific data point.
Exactly, and that specificity is what lets us get to stage 2. From vision to concrete goals. This is where we stop dreaming and we start doing the math. We have to translate coastal town into an actual number.
And this is usually the scary part, because if she's making $4,000 now and it's tight, replacing that seems like it'll require, I don't know, $10,000 a month in passive income or something.
That's the common assumption. But look at the formula. Every goal needs a what, a how much, and a when. When Sarah actually does the math on that coastal town life, cheaper rent, no commute, simpler lifestyle, she realizes something huge.
What's that?
She doesn't need to replace her $4,000 salary. She calculates she can fund that specific wonderful vision for $2,500 a month.
Wait, hold on. That's a huge insight. She's aiming for less income than she has now.
She is aiming for passive income to fund a specific life. She doesn't need to fund her current expensive high-friction life. She only needs to fund the vision. And by realizing the target is $2,500, not $4,000, the mountain just got, well, almost half as tall.
That is a massive psychological unlock. We all get trapped in this idea that retirement means our current expensive life plus more stuff. She's actually optimizing for happiness, not just income.
She's defining what enough is. The how much is $2,500. The when is 15 years.
Okay, but I have to be the skeptic here for a second. 15 years. I mean, I can't stick to a diet for 15 days. Telling someone, hey, stick to this plan until you're 50 just feels like a recipe for quitting by next year.
You're 100% right. The human brain is awful at 15-year delayed gratification.
Okay.
They're not wired for it. If Sarah only stares at that 15-year peak, she will get vertigo and she will quit.
So what's the solution?
That's why stage 3 is so critical, from goals to milestones.
You have to break the mountain down into smaller hills.
You need a base camp 1, an immediate tangible checkpoint. Sarah needs to stop worrying about year 15 and focus completely on year 1. And her goal for year 1 isn't $2,500 a month. It might just be an FI index of 0.05.
Okay, so run the math on that for me. If a 1.0 FI index is her goal of $2,500, then 0.05 is, what, about $125?
Correct. Her entire focus for the next 12 months is to generate $125 a month in passive income.
I'm going to be honest, that sounds a little pathetic. I mean, $125, that's a nice dinner out, a utility bill. If you tell someone to work their tail off for a year to make enough for a pizza and Netflix, they're going to laugh at you? How is that motivating?
It's not about the money. It's not about the purchasing power. It's about the proof of life.
Proof of life.
Think about it. Right now, Sarah only knows one way to get money from her boss. She might understand intellectually that assets can make money, but she's never felt it. Generating that first $125 without trading her time for it, that proves the machine works.
Ah, I see.
It proves she is an asset owner, not just an employee. It breaks the paralysis. She's not trying to solve the 15-year problem anymore. She's just trying to solve the $125 problem.
Okay, that makes sense. It's like starting a fire. The first spark doesn't warm the whole cave, but it proves you can make fire. So how does she actually do it? What's the Monday morning action plan?
That brings us to stage 4, from milestones to weekly actions. And this is where I have to apologize to anyone who was expecting a Hollywood movie montage.
I was waiting for the fast cars, the screaming, buy, sell, into a phone, staring at 6 monitors with green lines going up.
Yeah, you can just throw all of that out. Real execution is It's agonizingly boring admin. It's quiet. It is profoundly unsexy.
Growing admin, that's the secret. You're kind of underselling the dream here.
I'm selling the reality. If we look at Sarah's actual to-do list for hitting that $125 milestone, it's stuff like Tuesday, download the last 3 months of bank statements and categorize all expenses. Wednesday, research and open one high-yield savings account. Thursday, call the internet company and negotiate the bill down by $20.
That doesn't sound like building an empire. That sounds like chores.
It is empire building. It's just laid one boring brick at a time. Think about the aggregation of marginal gains. That $20 she saves on internet, the $15 from a canceled subscription, another $50 from smarter grocery shopping. That's $85 a month she didn't have before.
And she routes that into an investment.
Automatically. Over 52 weeks, all those tiny, boring actions completely rewrite her financial DNA. The sexy part of wealth is just the result of 1,000 unsexy decisions made over and over.
What happens when life punches back? The car breaks down, the market takes a dive, the plan always looks great on paper.
It does, and that's why the bridge collapses for most people. An emergency hits. This is why stage 5 is actions to reality, which is really the execution loop. And for this, we use the rocket analogy.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How is my bank account like a rocket ship?
Well, think about a rocket going to the moon. Do you think it's on a perfect straight line path the whole time?
No, I assume not. There's gravity, wind, the Earth's rotation. It must be adjusting all the time.
It's actually, of course, something like 90% of the time. It relies on a guidance system making thousands of tiny, constant corrections to stay on path. Sarah needs a guidance system for her money.
And what's her guidance system?
The weekly review. This is where the identity shift from employee to asset owner gets real. An employee is a passenger on a plane. They just hope it lands.
The asset owner is the pilot?
The asset owner is the pilot and the CEO. They're checking the instruments.
Yeah.
Sarah, as CEO of Sarah Incorporated, has to sit down once a week, look at the numbers, and say, okay, we drifted a little bit left this week. Let's make a small course correction back to the right.
A board meeting with yourself.
Exactly. Without that weekly review, the rocket just drifts off into deep space.
Okay, so let's recap the bridge. Stage 1, a structured vision, not a dream. Stage 2, turn that vision into concrete goals, the actual math. Stage 3, break those long-term goals down into milestones like Base Camp 1, the proof of life.
Right, the $125 problem.
Stage 4 is turning that milestone into boring weekly actions, calling the ISP.
The unsexy admin.
Yes, and stage 5 is the execution loop, using a weekly review to act as the guidance system and stay on course.
That is the 5-stage framework. It takes that paralyzing 15-year gap and turns it into a simple checklist for next Tuesday.
It really does remove the excuse of, I just don't know where to start. And of course, we can't leave you without a way to apply this. The source material includes a very specific weekly challenge.
Yes. We call it Build Your Vision to Action Bridge, and we want you to block out exactly 50 minutes this week. Not sometime, but actually put it on your calendar.
Okay, 50 minutes. Here's the breakdown. For the first 15 minutes, you're going to write out your structured vision, answer the asset owner question, actually write it down.
Then take 10 minutes and choose just one goal, a number and a deadline. What, how much, when.
Okay. Next up, 15 minutes to define 3 checkpoints. What's your proof of life for this first year? What does your Base Camp 1 look like? Maybe it's just $50 a month. That's okay.
And finally, and this is the most important part, spend the last 10 minutes choosing one deceptively easy action for this week.
Deceptively easy.
Yes. The only goal here is to break paralysis. So don't choose overhaul my entire investment strategy. Choose open one savings account or map one category of my spending. Pick something so small, so simple that you cannot fail. Just turn the engine on.
I love that. Don't try to solve all 15 years in 50 minutes. Just build the bridge to get you to next week.
Now, before we finish, the standard disclaimer. This content is strictly educational, not personalized financial advice. No guarantees of results. Success depends on your execution. You are responsible for evaluating what applies to you and consulting qualified professionals.
So we've built the bridge, from vision to goals to milestones, actions, and finally, reality.
And just remember, the secret to closing that gap isn't some magic bullet. It's boring admin plus consistent review. That is how you make the shift from employee to asset owner.
If you want to dive deeper into some of the earlier steps and concepts we've touched on, you can find our full analysis of the Golden Path strategy in the series.
And to see how Tamir explains these concepts himself, you should absolutely reference the YouTube channel, The Golden Path to Financial Independence. The handle is at Tamir Goldpath.
That's at Tamir Goldpath, and we'll leave you with this thought. You are the architect of your own bridge. All the materials are right there in your hands. The only question is, will you start laying the first brick this week?
2025 Tamir Kaham. All rights reserved. The Golden Path and the Golden Path to Faye are trademarks of Tamir Kaham.